Secretary of Housing, Federal Housing Commissioner under Bush 41, investment banker, managing director, and member of the board of Wall Street firm Dillon Read & Co., Inc. Doesn't get any more elite than that. Catherine has designed and closed $25 billion in transactions and investments to date and has led portfolio strategy for $300 billion, and it goes on and on. Invaluable information at Solari.com. And thank you for coming on with us. Would you like to comment on your view about money, and is the love of it the root of all evil?
Well, we're talking about two investment models. The old investment model, which is in the process of changing, and I'd like to talk about the new one too, but the old one says, as long as I have a positive return to me or my shareholders and what I'm doing is lawful, that's okay. Okay, so if you go to the Texas pension funds where you are, if you go to the Tennessee pension funds, and you say to them, what impact is it having on your communities that you're putting this money in these mortgage-backed securities? They'll say, I don't know, because I'm not responsible to understand my impact on the greater ecosystem. I leave that to government. And we're going into a world, Alex, where we're going to come up with a new model, and the model's going to look like this. And the model's going to say, okay, you have a return to your investors or your shareholders or your family or your pension fund beneficiaries, but then you have an impact on your financial ecosystem, you know, in the greater world. So we want to make sure that our investments have a positive return to the system and a positive return to us, and we use the information of understanding the impact of our investments to protect ourselves against risk. So, for example, if all the state pension funds, all the union pension funds, all the corporate pension funds in this country had said, I want to understand the impact my money's having on my financial ecosystem, it would have protected them from making investments that were ultimately going to lose the money, because they would have seen, wait a minute, if I'm destroying the middle class and wiping out the middle class, that can't possibly be good for my investments in municipalities and places. I'm going to lose money on this ultimately if I do things that are harmful. So we're going from an investment model where people didn't need to understand their participation in the ecosystem to one where they're going to have to be much more awake about what their impact is, because that's going to be an essential risk management tool in a world that's much more global, much more integrated, and where capital's moving much faster. So what we're literally talking about is a complete reinvention. It's simple, but it's profound in terms of your operations. Okay. If you're running money, a real invention of the investment model.
Okay, I should have pointed out at the beginning, I had you on a few weeks ago about the problem and how this operation works, who we're facing, what they're setting up, the model they want, who they are and what the establishment wants, versus your idea and others' idea of how to have a non-destructive, non-predatory system. But just going back to what the caller was asking me, there's this other idea that ever having any wealth is bad in and of itself, when in truth, don't good people need to get in a position of being sustainable?
One of the most powerful spins that the New World Order promotes is that wealth is bad. And let me tell you something, that's not coming from the grassroots, that's coming from the top. Because when if everybody who's got a solution says wealth is bad, then they're gonna keep sending their money to Wall Street. Nobody's going to shift their retirement capital into a group of people and a new model that says wealth is bad. You know, we've all worked, you know, we have a whole generation now, Alex, that have worked their entire life. Many of them work very hard to accumulate this capital, and this capital is the one thing standing between their family and the abyss. So the last thing we need to say is, oh, that's bad. That's good. That's what's protecting people. So in fact, what we need is an investment model that says optimization and the creation and the building of wealth is good. Because it is. You know, there's no such thing as too much energy. The question is how you channel and use it, because money's just a tool.
Exactly. The robber baron class has written in many policy papers that they're waging war against the middle class that allows the working class to have upward mobility. The United States, one of the few countries in history that's had a large middle class. That trend's now reversed. It's disappearing. And it's always the big central banks that push for the income tax, that push for command and control, because it's the ultra-rich robbing the rest of humanity. And they want a two-tier, tiny elite, giant underclass system where no one can ever challenge them. Now, for those that just joined us, and I'm going to sit back on this hour now and give you the floor, recap briefly, going into break, who the elite are, the type of economy they've set up, where we're going, so people understand how important it is to go with your alternative?
Well, that's the $64,000 question. Is, who are they? And I can only talk from what I know, because I'm not sitting in the privy.
Well, tell folks their model. Tell them. I mean,
right. But
like
essentially, what you have is at the very top of the investment hierarchy on this planet, you have intergenerational pools of capital that are controlled and owned by private families. They're unbelievably centralized, and they operate through a whole series of bureaucracies, which you describe, which is the central banks and the insurance industry and the Bilderbergers and the Council on Foreign Relations, and there's umpteen billion secret societies coordinating all this stuff because it's a big planet. But at the very, very top, you have a small number of huge intergenerational pools of capital that have remarkable control, and it is remarkably centralized and very planned. And we've reached the point where we've had a real breakdown in alignment of the interests of the folks at the top and everybody else. So they kind of feel they're much better off with unbelievable control. And I'm afraid if you look at the agricultural and other policies, it's clear that we are on a trajectory for significant, I would predict significant depopulation. So there's a real breakdown in interests, and if you look at all the people in our society, Alex, are saying this is wrong and this is wrong. They're talking about the money's wrong or the corruption's wrong or Wall Street's wrong or 9/11's wrong or vaccines are wrong. All of those things are symptoms. They're symptoms of the fundamental problem, which is a governance problem, which is who's in charge and why are they destroying significant amounts of freedom and wealth. Because our problem in this world is not that there's too much wealth. You're watching the centralization of economic control in a way that is significantly reducing wealth. Significantly reducing wealth.
Yeah, they've sold the kind of underclass that wealth is what's hurting them. No, it's that there's not enough wealth, and we can turn the engine of wealth loose, and we can colonize the stars. It's unlimited. There's enough for everybody.
Well, it's really funny. In the 1990s, I started a company in Washington called Hamilton Securities Group. And coming out of the Bush administration, I said, entrepreneurs are going to have to get government money out of communities, and we're going to turn this thing around. And we were putting together a plan where small business had easy access to all the information about how money worked in their place, including government contracts, which is, as you know, a big part of the economy. And they also could put together little venture funds and mutual funds for their communities.
Stay there. Let's talk about your plan that got nixed. On the other side, Catherine Austin Fitts is our guest, Solari.com. We'll be right back.
Hi, this is Steve Shanky, Foods Direct. We have stopped taking orders for the Buy 3, Get 1 Free program and have started production. Congratulations. Your choice to participate in the production of your food supply by pre-ordering will prove very wise. Shipments will begin the end of March and will be sent in the order that they were received. Now something fun. It's springtime. We all know that garden seeds aren't really a food supply, but they're a great supplement to your food reserve if you have the time and place to garden. Here's the plan. When you add a 1-month Superfood Spring Pack to your food storage, we'll send you that garden of non-hybrid seeds absolutely free. Order now while the free seeds last. Call 800-409-5633 or on the web, efoodsdirect.com/Alex. Get a real supply of food to eat while you wait for your supplemental garden to grow. Call 800-409-5633, efoodsdirect.com/Alex.
Did you know there is a growing number of researchers who agree that 90% of all disease begins in the colon? Did you know that 80% of all Americans suffer from internal parasites and parasitic infection? If allowed, our bodies are capable of healing themselves. The key to optimal health is not only what we eat, but also a healthy digestive system and a strong immune system. At Freshwater Organics, we offer FPP, a daily organic supplement that helps eliminate parasites, heavy metals, and high cholesterol naturally and safely. FPP, or fossilized phytoplankton powder has been used worldwide for thousands of uses and is now available from Freshwater Organics. In addition, we offer an entire line of products to help cleanse waste and toxins, strengthen your immune system, and improve your overall well-being. Make freshwaterorganics.com your first stop for organic and natural supplements at the best prices. Visit freshwaterorganics.com. Again, that's freshwaterorganics.com, or request your free catalog by mail by calling 888-949-3570.
They helped to create a new world order. We are part of a new world order.
A new world order based upon collective action.
Invisible Empire is a damning indictment of the globalists through their own words and documents.
The New World Order really is a tool for addressing a new world of possibilities.
It means all the world under their control.
The United Nations would take over America. The Trilateral Commission would control the world.
Invisible Empire chronicles how men of power and influence have worked in stealth for centuries to establish an oppressive world government.
I believe, first of all, that we now need nothing short of a world constitution for the global financial system.
Global governance with the establishment of the G20.
So it's going to be an inner ruling elite